Really, a passage into reconnecting with people. I joined Collective Counsellors now just over a year ago, and I myself, because obviously I belong to transitions, and I myself was in transition, to be fair. I was still a bit lost. I mean, I have had problems with addiction and mental health, but like I say, my story very quickly is I did fall into acting and theatre last year. Oh boy, but I ended up in a performance at the Everyman in the Hook. I'd never done anything like that before. And after I got through my crisis of confidence, you know, it was a 4.5 week show, and it really made me believe that I had something to offer again. But I didn't know where to go, and I was working with Crisis at the time, and I believe Abby, who runs Transitions, had dropped some literature off there. I came and had an informal chat with Abby. She told us about you know, what Transitions is, what kind of sort of people get involved with Transitions, and I signed up. And yeah, initially it was just to see if I could act again. But what I found was more than I bargained for, really, because when I was in sort of my real depths of depression and I didn't think very highly of myself, I'd basically withdraw. You don't have a voice, you just don't care about it, you don't have an opinion. But what Transitions did was it gave me a voice again, because I sometimes feel down. I come into Collective Encounters and it's like my therapy now. You know, I don't go to counselling anymore. I come to Collective Encounters, and it's great that it's early in the week, because without it, I don't think I'd function as well that week. They found that it gave me a voice back again, repeating myself, but gave me a confidence to have a voice. I think when I walked in through the door, I still was head down. My head's definitely up now. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, I know I keep referring back, but I never even, I know I ended up acting on stage last year, but I've never even been to the theatre. So it was an amazing story. I know some of the actors in it were calling me the Rocky Balboa of theatre, which I love because he's a hero, because he just walked in off the street. But I realise now how, by going to the theatre, how powerful theatre can be, and what a great tool it can be for getting a message out there, and getting, you know, issues out there highlighted. And very quickly, just going back to the first show I did with Collective Encounters, Farewell Welfare, and I was playing a homeless philosopher, playing a homeless guy again, but there we go. And I remember when I sort of took the stage over and gave my monologue, about 2 old women just shook their heads and walked off, and it really affected me. And I was like, Abby, they walked off, did I do? She said, absolutely, John. She said, that was powerful. She said, because what happened is you were actually telling it and getting a point across, and they didn't want to hear that. They couldn't face that. She said, so that's actually a compliment. Because even though they walked out halfway, I can guarantee they're speaking about what you said. And I thought, wow. And I realise now that I love acting, but the one thing I love about Transitions is we don't just act. We've got a point, we've got issues, and it's to educate people, make people more aware, and it's fantastic. Because before I came into Collective Counsellors, and the person I was before that, I sort of was very, in my career that I had before this, I kind of had my beliefs, and no one challenged them, and anyone that challenged them, I would sort of shout them down aggressively. I wouldn't listen. And actually coming into Collective Encounters has also taught me how to sort of accept everybody for who they are, listen to people's opinions, and open up to people as well. You know, and that's the biggest, that was the most challenging. it's very hard when you're sat in a room with strangers and someone says something and you have these old beliefs, but you listen, and I had to sort of take it, and sort of, it was so hard for me because usually I'd be up, but it was, and actually that was the hardest thing. But wow, because of that now, the way I am now, where I can listen to people's opinions, I can learn things, you know, I can listen as well as you know, I can hear as well as I can speak, and that was challenging at first, you know, sometimes biting my tongue back, but again, even though it was challenging, it's been a marvellous journey, that. I actually spoke to someone last week. Collective Encounters sent us on a workshop, or at the Everyman. It was a physical theatre, and there was a gentleman there actually who I identified early on, who obviously had some issues, was very unconfident, but they got him doing stuff, and I just went up to him and I said, "How's that feel?" He said, "Oh, I love that." So I just said, well, I said, we have a group. It's Collective Encounters, it's very informal. You know, I introduced them all to Keith and everyone what was there, and I just said, you know, it's a fantastic place to come to sort of grow. It's informal, it's friendly, it's non-judgmental. And I had a chat with him about it, and he asked, I had one of the leaflets, and I assume he's rung up really. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough of it to someone. I obviously identify with people that have got issues, and I've seen the progression in me. I see it with my fellow company members here. But actually listening to people and hearing people, I think that's been the biggest thing it's given me, to be fair. As well as, obviously, I'm growing every day in Collective Encounters with my sort of confidence, my belief in myself. I mean, I've done things out of Collective Encounters which, wow, before coming into Collective Encounters I would have never have gone. I've gone back studying recently, and honestly, I can honestly say, if it wasn't for Collective Encounters, I probably would have still been walking around with my head down. So what it's given me is I've taken out into the real world, and it's just enhanced. It's enhanced my quality of life. As simple as. And there's nothing bigger than that, is it? The members that I work with now, you know, they were absolutely fresh into it, and it was quite natural, and I didn't know, but obviously I was used to learning lines by then, and I didn't realise it, but I started helping those people. I didn't realise I was doing it until Abby actually said, "Wow, John, look at that. You've sort of, Keith couldn't remember one line." He said, "But you've sat with him, you've took what you've learned, she said, would you have done that 6 months ago?" So I feel like now that possibly I've taken on that mantle within Collective Encounters of being sort of one of the old heads now, and it's nice to pass that on. So yeah, I think I've got a lot of empathy, a lot of understanding, and I love that sense of sort of my worth as well. So definitely, and like I say, out of Collective Encounters, I've studied now, which I never thought I could go back to studying, and you know, I've got qualifications now. So yeah, it's given me responsibility for me again, and making sure that I know it's for me, and that's a great thing.